Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the 5 things that I don't exactly like about the all-new 2022 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. With that being said, let's get right into the video. So the first thing is the transmission. Okay, so we got to pop in here to talk about this. So, the transmission selector itself, the gear selector, the gear shifter, whatever you want to call it, whatever tickles your fancy, looks fantastic, right? It's the TRD shifter. But this still uses a 6-speed automatic, which is just, I mean, super reliable, super robust, but it just doesn't make sense in today's world. They need to update the transmission desperately with this truck. I mean, you've got the new Ford Ranger 10-speed automatic, super smooth, super quick. The new Nissan Frontier, again, that's like the other, quote-unquote old school truck in this segment. And again, 9-speed automatic, super quick to shift. Even the Chevy Colorado and GMC Canyon that have an 8-speed automatic that is not the most modern feeling still feels better than this. This is like the worst in segment now for a mid-sized truck, and so they desperately need to update this transmission so it's smoother, quicker to shift, and just makes the truck feel more powerful. Now the number 2 thing has to pertain to the engine. Okay, so now we got to do this whole thing. Actually, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do this because the hood on the Tacoma is so heavy that it's like impossible to lift with one hand. Okay, well I managed to do it. So we have the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 under the hood, 278 horsepower, and then 265 pound-feet of torque. Now we're gonna close the hood because my arm's tired. But anyways, it's again slower than like everything else in the segment because of the transmission we just talked about in the last point, but then because the engine is not a modern engine, and you guys can see here with the sticker for the whole combination right here as well, if you don't believe me, there we go. 3.5 liter V6 6-speed automatic transmission. And so yeah, it just everything else, like the Nissan Frontier, over 300 horsepower, Jeep Gladiator, 285 horsepower, more modern transmission, and that is the V6 Gladiator. You can get a diesel Gladiator that is super torquey and super fun, and then you got the Colorado, which has over 300 horsepower, and you've got the Ford Ranger, which has a turbocharged engine, which is super torquey. And so again, this truck is just lagging in segment from a power perspective. Now the third thing has to pertain to the key fob. Now this is just kind of like a generalized Toyota complaint, but it's not the fact that like their key fob is not necessarily like super high-end from a material standpoint. It's because they bury the remote start function into the key fob, and I don't know, I think that they should also change that. But you guys can see, gotta press it a couple times, hold it down, and then the lights will start blinking. So it does have remote start, but like, I can't tell you how many times I get comments on my reviews of Toyotas of people going, wait, my vehicle has remote start, I didn't even know that. Or wait, how do I work the remote start? And like, they just need to like clean up the system and just, I don't know, maybe update the key fob so it looks a little bit more modern. I mean, look at this thing. Is this the Hello 2006? But yeah, that's the next point. So the number 4 thing has to pertain to the tires. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to put this point in the video or not because I keep going back and forth on it, but I decided to put this point in the video. So this truck has 16-inch wheels, which I think is fantastic for an off-road type vehicle because you can see we have got tons of sidewall here on the tires, which is great. And you can see they're relatively aggressive from a tread pattern perspective, but they're not super aggressive. And if you look at the competition, right, like the Chevy Colorado ZR2, which I feel like is the most direct competition to the TRD Pro, that thing has really aggressive tires. I obviously don't have a Colorado ZR2 right now, but I can show you guys, well, the Raptor. So you guys can see with the tread pattern here on the Raptor, and that is, this is the same brand as what's on the ZR2, but like, aggressive all-terrain tire. And, looking over here, like, look at the difference with the Tacoma. And I noticed on the trails that I was slipping quite a bit with these tires, and that is actually, believe it or not, the limiting factor on this truck is the tires. The ground clearance is amazing, breakover angle is pretty solid on it, the shocks are amazing, the flex is amazing with it, right? And so the limiting factor with a lot of off-road situations for me ended up being the tires. I had to put the truck in 4-wheel low for certain circumstances because of the tires, but then also because, well, this truck is so underpowered that you have to be in 4-wheel low so you can put the power to the ground because there's not a lot of power to be had. Like, for example, that mountain climb, I can do it in the Raptor in 4-wheel high if I want. I have to be in 4-wheel low with the Tacoma for that mountain climb, because at the very top, the Tacoma's just like barely making it over from that perspective. But yeah, I think they need to do more aggressive tires. It's a TRD Pro. Come on. Now the fifth and final thing has to pertain to the price. Look at those headlights. Okay, so we gotta go over the window sticker yet again, like the millionth time I've had this truck. So again, 2022 TRD Pro, you can see base MSRP $48,640. It says a few options like the TRD air filter. Total MSRP $50,733. And I'm gonna get a lot of comments about people buying full-size trucks for that price. And well, you know what? I agree with you. That is pretty expensive. But that's not my problem. My problem is all of the other comments that I just mentioned in today's video, how this is, you know, has an older school transmission. And you guys, I didn't really talk about the interior, but again, this is, you know, a normal Toyota fashion, you know, not the most modern interior. I love it because it's easy to clean off. But the point I'm trying to make is this is not like a super modern vehicle. And they're charging the same price for this as what you'd get for like a recently updated midsize truck. And so I think that's a little bit of a miss on the TRD Pro. I think that this should be priced below the competition. I understand that it's super reliable and it's super durable, and that's part of the price premium with Toyotas, is you're getting that reliability and durability. But at the same time, like, it's just, I think it should be a little bit less expensive unless they update it. Like if this had a modern transmission and a modern engine that had good power, I'd be completely okay with the $50,000 price tag. But because it doesn't, it feels like a little much. That's going to sum things up for the 5 things that I don't exactly like about the 2022 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. With that being said, I'll see all of you in that next video.